Bag Concert Series from noon to 1 p.m. every Wednesday through the end of July at the Town Square Pavilion. Carbondale Main Street working to improve and promote Carbondale's downtown district. More information at carbondelemainstreet.com.
Good morning, Carbondale. You're listening to WDBX 91.1 FM Carbondale. Happy Monday to you. I'm Amy Fox, the Public Relations Officer for the City of Carbondale, and I'm joined by City Manager Gary Williams and Jennifer Olson with the Carbondale Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Jennifer.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
And today we're talking about several upcoming workshops in relation to the Illinois Job Link. This is a collaboration between the Carbondale Chamber of Commerce and also the Marion Chamber of Commerce, as well as the Illinois Department of Employment Services. So if you would, just give us kind of a brief overview of what people can expect.
Sure. So these classes were born out of a visit from the director of the Illinois Department of Employment Security. And when he was here in Carbondale speaking to some of our business owners, they said, it's great that you have all these online resources, but, we have frontline people in HR, people in clerical roles that, they don't know how to use these things. And wouldn't it be great if we had an opportunity to do hands-on training behind a computer terminal where we could send the folks that are actually having to do the work to those classes?
And there's several different dates for workshops.
Yes. So essentially what we decided was to focus on one system, if you will, under that IDES each month. And so in June, we're talking about Illinois Job Link, which has an employer side and a job seeker side, plus a lot of other tools. So all the classes are the same. All the classes are 8:30 to 10:30. So essentially each month you could pick any of the 4 dates that suit you. And so the 2 remaining dates for Illinois Job Link, which is our June topic, are this Wednesday, the 20th, and Friday, the 22nd. And all of the classes are happening at Mantricon, which is at the Illinois Star Center in Marion. And that's only because they could commit to us 25 to 30 computer terminals at a time in that 8:30 to 10:30 slot.
And this is something that will change every single month in terms of topic?
Right. So this month we're talking about Illinois Job Link, which is connecting employers with employees, hopefully. And then next month the topic is My Tax Illinois, which is the portal that is pretty much required for many of the taxes, not just taxes related to having employees, but things like Liquor Control Commission issues, cigarette use tax, bingo tabs. I mean, there's a lot of things that have to funnel through that. And in the old days, when online services were getting started, there were still a lot of paper forms or call-in options, touch-tone options, and they're really trying to get away from that. So it's important that whoever is responsible for the turning in of those taxes, whether that's a bookkeeper or the business owner themselves or maybe an HR person, be trained in that. And so in July, we'll have Tuesday the 10th, Thursday the 12th, Wednesday the 18th, and Friday the 27th. So we have 4 classes all available, same topic, just date that works for you on that topic. And we'll just continue as long as there's interest in those, how to use those Illinois available and Illinois required systems.
Mm-hmm. And why was this something that the Carbondale Chamber of Commerce really felt they can rally behind?
Well, our core mission is to serve the business interest. And so when we hear about a business need, and it really started with the employers and job seekers piece of this, when things were changing on campus and some of the civil service positions were going away and not all of them could be transferred into other positions, we started thinking about the fact that we hear so many times a week from our business owners how hard it is to find good qualified candidates. And we kept thinking, we have these folks on this side of the room saying we have qualified, quality people that need work, and we have people on this side of the room saying we can't find them. So we're just looking for different ways. So we are bringing back, or trying to reactivate, if you will, our jobs board on our chamber website, but just looking for more tools to help be the matchmaker so that our businesses can not worry so much about those finding of employees and focus on just being up and running in a productive manner.
And what are you hoping the reaction is from these businesses, from the local community?
Well, I think we're always looking to establish our value as a chamber. You know, what do you get for being a member? And so the more business tailored services, you know, we have so many great partners in the city that are good at things like events. Main Street's really good at events. Tourism is really good at bringing people to our area from outside of the area. So what can we focus on? And I think what we have to focus on is adding value, adding training, and doing things to make our businesses be a little more successful.
And I'm assuming it's important for people to sign up for the workshops ahead of time just so you have a head count prior to the event.
That would be great. The trainer, for example, this month with Illinois Job Link, he has an hour drive, and we're asking him to be at MantraCon at 8:30, all set up with PowerPoint. And so, yes, if we can know what our participation looks like and we can have enough materials printed, that is the best thing. And they can register at the CarbondaleChamber.com. It would be the best way to let us know that there's interest.
And it really seems like you have been in constant communication with the area businesses, and I'm assuming as you continue these talks, topics will change and perhaps maybe even locations may change for the various workshops.
Yeah, if we can find a lab here in the city or on campus, I would rather host it here, to be quite honest. This was just, MantraCon was in the room at the initial meeting and made the offer, and so we took them up on it. They're not charging us anything, which is really nice because we didn't want to charge businesses for this. There are things we would pursue fees on, but this isn't one. IDS is providing the training at no cost. We have the room at no cost. It only makes sense if we can pass the added value along. But yes, we want to continue to try to listen to our membership. You know, depending on your industry, what you're interested in learning about can be different. But some of these things, like finding quality employees and making sure that your taxes are turned in on time through the proper format so you don't get those reject letters, those are pretty much universal. So we just want to try to answer the questions and concerns that our business members have.
And it really seems like this is a really great hands-on opportunity. They're providing you with a lot of great tools that you can implement in your daily lives as a business owner.
It's funny because, you know, we have business owners that are very hands-on, and they'll be the one behind the terminal trying to learn how to do this so that, you know, when they're up at 9 o'clock at night, they're doing their paperwork because they were busy running their business during the day. So we kind of have that category of people. And then we have large companies that have multiple employees, and I had one CFO, he pointed to the person in charge of HR and he said, if she's happy, I'm happy. Let's just keep her trained up and feeling like she knows what she's doing. And as long as she knows what she's doing, she's satisfied, I'm satisfied.
And you mentioned the Carbondale Chamber of Commerce's job board. Can you tell us a little bit about that and the purpose and goal behind that?
So we have been reaching out through our e-blast to our primary contacts with our different member businesses, asking them and encouraging them if they are posting jobs that they feel are key or very hard to fill. It's hard for us to advertise 20 for each business, but if you have, you know, 2 or 3 that are just really sticking out there that are tough, send them to us, preferably as a link, so that we can put it on our website and directly link back to. So many of our businesses are using some sort of portal where the application has to happen online. So while we'll take a typed out standard job posting with a P.O. box or whatever method you're using, if you're using an version and an application online, we prefer you to send us the link and we'll get that up and running, and we'll leave those up for 30 days or until you call us and say, thanks, position's filled.
And the job board, anyone in the community can access that?
Right. So the posting of the business employment opportunity would be limited to our member businesses, but it's a public website. So anybody who is looking, and my goal would be if we get it full and there's 20, 50 postings pretty continuously up there, then we can talk to our partners like our employment services in the area and let them know it's out there as an option. We could talk to the folks that help people at the library with computer usage. Just think about how we can let people know that it's up and running, it's active, and that I think it's really underutilized, because I do think there's some websites that people visit when they're looking about moving to the area, and I think the chamber's in that top 5 list, and right now there's no job postings on that at all.
And I think we're often surprised, and I think you touched on it, Jennifer, there's jobs out there. We're often shocked when we talk to employers that have difficulty getting resumes and getting quality people, and some of these are pretty well-paying jobs. We have the one, Liaison Technologies, out in Reed Station Road. They've been struggling for a number of years to get staffed up, and we hear about Gilster Mary Lee, and we've got Centene coming to town, and everybody seems to make it work, but there are opportunities out there if you're looking in the right places.
When one of our challenges is always just getting participation in things, and these classes are a prime example. How do we get people out? And I do think that so many businesses, they may be doing more with less, but more importantly, they're doing more with fewer. And so they have fewer employees doing more work, and it is challenging for them to get their employees out and, 2 hours or 3 hours to a meeting or training. But hopefully we can provide enough value that they can pick up the slack and let that person have the time out of the office. But it's a challenge just to sometimes keep the front desk covered and the phones open for some folks.
And going back to the specific Illinois Job Link workshops quickly approaching, if someone out there isn't able to attend on one of the specific workshops but would like to get more of the information, is there a way that they can do that?
So they would want to look at the website for IDS directly, because they do have some tutorials and they have classes above and beyond what we're offering. I will tell you that some of their concentration of classes might be a little north of us, but it might be worth somebody's time if they can't get to one of the more Southern Illinois-based classes.
And if they want to get signed up for one of the workshops either on June 20th or June 22nd, where can they go to do that?
They can go to carbondale.chamber.com.
Great. Anything else you'd like to add? Maybe I forgot to ask you. You covered a lot of really good information for our local business owners.
The only thing that I had noticed on the Illinois Job Link specific, which is the window that we're in June, is that in addition to hiring resources and resources for job seekers, they do have some good information about tax credits and fidelity bonding. So there's a little bit of sidebar information there that you might not expect there if you're just kind of thinking that it's a place to post jobs.
Right, but once again, it all comes back to providing more resources for our local businesses and how they can be more business friendly and how they can take care of things internally a little bit more efficiently, it sounds.
Yeah, I think that we have a lot of businesses that are on the cusp of really good growth, but it's hard to grow when you don't have the people to support that growth.
Great. Jennifer Olson with the Carbondale Chamber of Commerce. Always a pleasure. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And you're listening to Talk of the Town Radio on WDBX FM Carbondale. We're going to take a short break with some announcements, and we'll be right back.
Good morning. This is Alicia with the City of Carbondale here to bring you this week's calendar of events. On Friday, June 22nd, 2018, beginning at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., Fringe Salon, which is located at 112 North Illinois Avenue, will be having a party to celebrate the release of the Out of the Attic 2019 calendar and a unique opportunity to shop art by local vendors and vintage clothing, jewelry, and shoes. The pop-up shop starts at 6 p.m. with refreshments available and shopping until 8 p.m. Stop in to see and then head over to the Carbondale's 4th Friday Fair at the Pavilion. For more information, you can go to their Facebook page, Fringe the Salon. And on Saturday, June 23rd, 2018, beginning at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., it's Fresh Fitness. The City of Carbondale has teamed up with Carbondale Park District to host a series of fitness classes every Saturday during Carbondale Farmers Market in June and July. Classes will be held from 10 to 11 at Turley Park. Experience is not required. Please wear comfortable clothes and bring a water bottle, towel, or yoga mat. A cash donation of $5 is suggested. For more information, call 559-1939. Also on Saturday, June 23rd, beginning at 7:30 p.m. to 11 o'clock p.m., the Varsity Center presents Jenny Jones working out new and unfinished songs in front of a live audience at the Varsity. Jenny has written a set of new songs to be presented for the first time. The band, along with musical friends from the community, will be joining Jenny's band as they work out these songs for the first time all together on stage. This is a one-of-a-kind, intimate night where the process is shared with the audience. They don't know who's going to solo, how the songs are going to sound, or if the songs are any good. For more on the band, go to www.therealjennyjohnson.com. The performance at the Varsity will be in the balcony space Saturday, June 23rd. Tickets are $10 in advance, and tickets can be purchased at the door the night of the show, and they are $12 or $5 for students. For more information, you can call 521-6541. For information on these events and others, please visit our websites at WDBX.org or CarbondaleTourism.org, or you can reach us by phone at 618-457-3263. Have a great week.
Good morning and welcome back to Talk of the Town. And right now we have JD Tanner in from Touch of Nature. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
And you have some very exciting things going on out at Touch of Nature, specifically the multi-use bike trail.
Yes.
It's trails, right?
Trails.
Multiple,
yes.
okay.
Yes. And I'm glad you called them multi-use. A lot of people call them a mountain bike trail, but I mean, there's an emphasis on the multi-use. It's for the, when they're completed, they'll be for hikers, bikers, and runners, and just nature lovers in general to be able to get out and enjoy some of Southern Illinois.
And I guess just tell us a little bit about this project, how the idea came about. And I know this has been work in progress for quite some time now.
Correct. I've been here for about 4 years as the director now. And when I walked onto site back that 4 years ago, I looked at our maps and our property use and just nothing going on in a large amount of our 3,100 acres. It was just forest growing. And so after a little bit of time, I brought in a few different people to come in and look at our topography and everything else, some specialists, especially in the mountain biking world, and they agreed 100% that if, kind of like the Field of Dreams scenario, if you build them, they will come, is what they're telling us. And that's because there's just a big movement right now for mountain biking into the Midwest, because we can provide really good riding year-round. If you go out to the mountains in Colorado, you've got about 3 or 4 months that you can ride before you're getting the skis out and skiing, or the trails just aren't good for it anymore, while you're waiting to get your skis out, kind of a thing. But here, year-round.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess what steps has Touch of Nature taken to get kind of where you are right now in the project? Yeah.
So to date, we've fundraised, received small grants or donations of almost about $45,000 right now. We put a large chunk of that into a conceptual plan and design from the International Mountain Biking Association. So they came on site and they spent about a week just walking around our woods and then coming back with a 30-mile plan for us. A lot of their data and everything that they took from our site, compared it to numbers and data around the rest of the Midwest and the rest of the country. I mean, the numbers are good for us on what we could see. For our size, could be as many as 55,000 users a year would come and ride. So that's all exciting for us to hear that information come back. Well, the rest of the money that we took, we did a lot of archaeological surveying of the property to make sure that we weren't going to disturb anything of historical importance. And we continue to do that. The plan will be to continue to survey and then lay out trail and then start to build. The building is the longest process, obviously. So we've got a large section of trail built or flagged and laid out in a grant that we've applied for. So we're waiting to hear back on that grant. But in the meantime, we've actually started building with volunteer crews on another side of the property. So we've got maybe a quarter of a mile built since last October. And then you hit the summertime, and it's almost miserable to get out there and build in the summertime. So when the fall rolls around, the volunteer groups will get out, and it's starting to get a little more organized. So expect to see some of those volunteer efforts happen a little bit faster.
So talk about the trails a little bit, because when you say 30 miles, does someone have to be this extremely fit person that you go out there and you have to commit to this long trek to enjoy it, or how does that work? And then the other thing is what do the trails look like? I mean, is it like a little single track trail? Is it, if it's multi-use, is it 5 feet wide? Is it?
Yeah, so those are all good questions, because if you Tunnel Hill Trail is a nice wide path, you gravel. Our trails won't be like that. They'll be much more narrow. They'll be dirt for the most part, but they'll have beginner, intermediate, advanced skill levels. The design for us is definitely an education focus on it. So the beginning, where you would park your car, and as soon as you get onto the trails, it's all beginner with a little bit of intermediate, so that you can learn to ride before you go out and you hit some of our more advanced terrain. So, I mean, the idea is we want the Carbondale community to really be able to get out and see an improvement in quality of life, have something different and new to do in the area, but at the same time attract tourists from really around the world. Once you get up above 30 miles, you'll attract people from all over the world that will want to come and ride.
And will people need to bring their own bikes, their own equipment, or will you have equipment that they can rent?
I imagine as we get started, it's going to bring your own.
Okay.
That being said, we've got some really good working relationships with Pat at the Bike Surgeon, and then Sean Moore with the Southern Illinois Mountain Biking Association. I wouldn't be surprised to see that develop into some type of a partnership or relationship where Pat or other bike shops could set up shop out there and actually rent on site on busy Saturdays and Sundays if they wanted to. I would imagine maybe Touch of Nature will think about running our own rentals, but that's a business all by itself. Now you're hiring a mechanic to fix bikes, and I would rather work that partnership out with Pat or another local bike shop owner.
Sure. And where is the closest multi-use trail similar to this? I mean, it has to be some great distance from Carbondale.
Size-wise, it would probably be Brown County in Indiana.
Okay.
Would probably
that's
be
3-4 hours.
Yeah, that's several hours away. St. Louis has some riding trails. Land Between the Lakes has some riding trails, but nothing of this magnitude. Really, the best feature about our plan would be a built-in kids park and adult park, where you would actually be able to come and do ramps and do some little all kinds of flow trails and stuff like that to really work on your skills before you go out and hit all the advanced trails. So that's our big plan for that. Here in the Midwest, similar type setups are charging anywhere from $20 to $30 for a rider to come and ride at a park set up like that. I'm planning to charge like $3 to $5 for people to come and park, and then be able to offer that service at a discounted rate.
But these places, we've talked about this before, JD, and a lot of the places you can go to that are of this magnitude, a lot of them are out west. A lot of them are in areas that are really difficult to get to. I mean, you have to really have a purpose to get there, right? But they also have tens of thousands of people a week that go to these places in the summertime during the season. And as you mentioned, it's our season's really long here, great terrain. You can go from easy to very advanced and technical. But we've been excited about this because of the effect that it could have for the community. Because with all these riders, they're going to need places to stay, places to eat, and on and on.
Yeah, I'm excited for it for numerous reasons. It's a completely new recruitment tool for the university, which I'm real excited about. It's completely new camps and programs for us to be able to offer to the community as well as the students. But without a doubt, the biggest perk is going to come to the community off of this.
Visibility, yeah. And not just for us, I think for the region.
Riders are reporting right now that they spend anywhere between $120 to $150 a day to go and ride. And so if I bring in 55,000 riders a year, that's what, $6.5–7 million of money that's being spent, not with me, that's being spent in the surrounding community. So I'm excited about that just for Carbondale and Marion and the surrounding areas.
Yep. And right now in the process, you're just working to secure funding to put this plan into action, and you're currently seeking volunteers to help with some of the beginning stages.
Yes, so volunteers are big for us. Obviously, donors are important. So, if there was a donor out there that wanted to be a part of it, I would definitely want to talk with those people. But yeah, we're going through that grant funding option right now, which we hear really good things about that grant. It'll build about 8, maybe 10 miles of trail for us, which will be a huge jump start for us. And that's what they say about a trail system, like especially for mountain biking, is once you can get riders out riding on something, the trail just really builds itself from that point, because riders will be excited, hikers will be excited. We'll start seeing larger groups of volunteers coming out, in-kind donations, whatever it takes to make it happen.
And that's really one of the great things about this trail is it is multi-use. So you don't have to be into biking. You can be into hiking to utilize this space.
Exactly. So again, hikers, bikers, runners, birders, just nature lovers in general. Our plan would be 8 to 9 special events a year. So anything from 24-hour mountain bike rides to birding events. One of the fastest growing non-traditional sports in high school is mountain biking right now. So right now, and Illinois doesn't even have an actual setup for that yet. So once we've got some trails to ride, we would really start to look at it's called NICA, the National Interscholastic Collegiate something or the other for mountain biking. We'd be looking at that to try to bring those riders here and start to grow that sport in Illinois as well.
So it's really an investment into the community and the region and the state.
The quality of life improvement it's there again and again in all the small towns that are investing in this exact type of trail system that I'm working on. Bentonville is the perfect example over in Arkansas. Just named the #1 mountain biking destination in the United States in Arkansas.
And the University of Arkansas is adjacent to that. Correct?
Yep. University of Arkansas is right there. Yeah, it's the hometown of Walmart. But you know what? They didn't grow until they invested in this quality of life for them. And now they're booming. Their population went from 20,000 to 37,000 people in 8 years after they started building these trails.
Well, and it's a fun hobby too, right? It's a fun activity, and it makes a healthier community as well, but it also gets people outdoors, and that's what we want, to enjoy the region.
All of the above.
And if people would like to get involved, whether they have a group that would like to come and volunteer or if they would like to make a monetary donation, or maybe just get more information about this project, JD, how can they get a hold of you folks?
Yeah, it's all on our website, ton.siu.edu. Any of that information, our full actual conceptual plan is on there. So if you wanted to get on there, if you're like, this guy's blowing steam or whatever, you can get on there and you can look at the actual plan, and you can look at other data comparisons to places in Wisconsin where the money is, I hate to say it, is rolling in to those communities that are taking advantage.
Right. Lots of good information. JD Tanner with Touch of Nature. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
And that's all we have for Talk of the Town this morning. We'll chat with you next week. Have a wonderful day.